Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your early redraft rankings for the running back position. Again, we're going to talk some running backs. We're going to talk reasons why I believe these running backs are where they are in my early rankings, and we'll do some honorable mentions, and then of course, we'll be obviously updating you guys on any rookies and things like that that might be in this top 10. We'll talk about a couple of them that might be out there, but again, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys are checking out our other early rankings. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we'll be doing a lot of Dynasty content coming up for the season, talking rookies, free agencies, all kinds of stuff to get you guys ready for your Dynasty leagues. And then, of course, deep into the summer, we'll be getting right back into the redraft stuff. So again, this is early redraft, full PPR. This is who I believe where these running backs are going to be, right? Now, the first running back, I'm going to jump right into this, is Austin Ekeler at number 1. He finished number 1 with 376 points. I don't actually see that changing for him. He has been one of the best red zone running backs in the league right now. He's been phenomenal. And for whatever reason, every single year, Austin Ekeler never gets treated that. Look at any analyst, including myself, Austin Ekeler never reaches the top 3, maybe 4 or 5 in rankings. And he's always drafted later, typically the middle to the end of the first round, maybe the second round, yet he always does a great job. So for me, I've learned my mistakes. I am not putting Ekeler outside of the top 2. I have him at number 1. Now, number 2, I have Christian McCaffrey. Now, McCaffrey is the only running back I believe who could supplant Ekeler and putting him into the second spot. Look, Christian McCaffrey finished second with 356 points, right? So not too far behind Austin Ekeler. And that was with Carolina Panthers. If everyone, I know a lot of people have short memories. They're thinking of Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers, but a lot of his season was obviously with the Carolina Panthers, and he didn't have the great numbers. Now you're going to year 2 with a Kyle Shanahan offense, and it's only going to get better for the 49ers. Why isn't Christian McCaffrey number 1? Now, you'll probably see a lot of early rankings probably putting him there, and I do like him there. I have, again, Ekeler just because of what he's been able to do. Christian McCaffrey in this second year in this offense should perform better and should be the number 1 guy. There is always the injury concern. I think those are just flukes. I don't think he's an injury-prone back per se, but he has had some bad luck with injuries, so there is always that possibility. But he had a great year this year. He finally finished a full season without having any really serious injuries, and I like that one. Now, number 3, I've got Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, he could possibly fall in the second, and Ekeler falls a little bit more. Again, this is really early rankings, but if you look at what Dayball has done with Barkley, he's done a really good job with him. Now, Barkley didn't finish the best possible rank. I think he was just outside the 5th spot, but when you look at what he's able to do and this offense only getting better and the possibility of how this offseason goes for the New York Giants, then possibly getting a wide receiver 1 finally for Daniel Jones in this offense, I think that only helps Saquon. I think with Barkley, I think with what's going to happen is this offseason will determine where or how he may be ranked when we get closer to the summer. But I like him at number 3. I just have high expectations for him. Number 4, I got Derrick Henry. Look, there's still a lot of hope for Derrick Henry. I know the offense struggled. Obviously, Tannehill had some injuries. Malik Willis didn't really bring a lot to the table. There's a lot of changes going on in Tennessee, like the offensive coordinator being fired. So that's going to play a factor in this. But this offense still runs through Derrick Henry. I still believe him, even with his age starting to creep up. He had some injuries. I still like Derrick Henry as the number 4 running back at this moment. Could change with some of these other guys, but I like him right there. Number 5, I've got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb does not get a lot of respect in the fantasy world. I don't know what it is about him. I think he's so consistent that a lot of people just kind of forget about him. Now, there were a lot of concerns. When Deshaun Watson came back this past season, I think they were just putting to kind of see what he was able to do, because at this point, I think the Browns were just pretty much out of it anyways. So they put a lot on to Watson's shoulders. But with that said, they kind of just negated Chubb at that point. Chubb should have finished stronger in this fantasy season, and I do expect him to be stronger this fantasy upcoming season, just because I do think Watson's going to have a lot more, obviously going to have a full off season. He's going to have a lot more rapport with his receivers. The offense is going to change a little bit, but I still think Nick Chubb's going to be there. And then Kareem Hunt right now is going into this offseason as a free agent, so there's a good chance he's not going to be there. So there's no threat necessarily with Hunt in the backfield. It's really going to be the Nick Chubb show, so I like him at number 5. Number 6, I got Josh Jacobs. Now, there's an asterisk here. Jacobs was not signed for his 5th-year option. McDaniels pretty much just said they're not signing him, blah, 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 blah. And then Jacobs went off. Definitely plays a factor into this one. Jacobs may or may not be playing with the Raiders. If he does, there's the whole quarterback situation they got to deal with Derek Carr. Obviously, him most likely being traded or let go. So nobody knows who the new quarterback will be. There's a lot of rumors and speculations. So there's a lot of uncertainty, which is why I don't have Jacobs higher. He could be. He was the best rushing back this season. Obviously, PPR wasn't the best. There's some things he obviously can work with, but as far as a pure runner, Josh Jacobs was the best this season. Number 7, I got Breece Hall. Everyone forgets about what Breece was able to do prior to his injury. He is expected to be back for training camp, or at least the end of training camp. That is at least the expectation right now, and that's kind of the news of where we're at with Breece Hall. But before that, he was averaging 16 points a game. He was starting to emerge and really be the clear-cut RB1 for the New York Jets. Obviously, they were still utilizing Michael Carter. They maybe threw in Ty Johnson every once in a while. But Breece Hall is going to get 60 to 70% of the snaps. That is the expectation for him going into the season. And then you add a possible quarterback for this Jets offense. The sky's the limit for that whole offense in general. So I like Breece Hall at number 7. Number 8, I got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is probably higher than a lot of other people's early rankings. Unless something changes drastically for this offseason, I'm going based off of what is going on right now. There's no head coach. There's uncertainty there. The quarterback situation, that is huge. Those two things play a huge factor in what is going to happen with Jonathan Taylor this offseason and what's going to happen this upcoming season. On top of that, the O-line was pathetic. They didn't play very well. You got a Pro Bowler, almost all-pro guard in Quentin Nelson who just... And he said it. He just did not play well at all this season. He was nowhere near the standards he was supposed to. And realistically, the Colts' offensive line was supposed to be one of the best in this league. They just did not do that. Now, with the things being fixed, if they get a great offensive head coach, fixing the quarterback situation, depending on what, maybe it's a Derek Carr or whatever the situation may be, then I will potentially move Taylor up. At this point, because of all the uncertainty, I can't do that, but I still have him in the top 10. Number 9, I've got Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was 10th this past year. I still think he's a top 10 back. I have him right at 9. I think he just moves up a little bit. Obviously, the big focus for the Minnesota Vikings is figuring out the signing of Justin Jefferson to a long-term contract because they do not want to let him go. They need him, especially in this offense. Figuring out who the wide receiver 2 is going to be. Thielen definitely lost a step. KJ Osborne showed some promise. Then you got the tight end position who's done a really good job. So really, Dalvin Cook's got a good opportunity to return and have a really good season. Kirk Cousins obviously still going to be there. I don't see that changing. So this offense is only going to get better. I like this offense. I like Ken O'Connell's offense. I expect a lot out of him. I do like Dalvin Cook at number 9. Number 10, I've got Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks. Hey, look, he finished 18 this past season. That was averaging about just under 14 points a game. He had a really good season. I really liked him a little bit better than Breece Hall. I could still be wrong. I could be right. Who knows? I like both of them, but I liked Walker just a little bit more. And with that averaging of just under 14 points, that was still with the season of injury, dealing with Rashad Penny at the beginning of the season, and not really taking over until after he got hurt. So I have a really big expectations of him and a big leap this year. I expect him into the top 10. Now, there are honorable mentions, right? I'm not going to go into deep diving into that, but, obviously you got Travis Etienne, you've got Joe Mixon, Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard. There's some running backs that you got there. And then, of course, you got the rookie Bijan, who knows where he goes, but that's another thing you got to consider. But as far as my top 10, these are the guys I feel comfortable at this moment. Now, obviously, I'll be giving you guys updated rankings throughout the offseason to kind of get you a little bit better. And then, of course, anything Dynasty, we'll have a whole separate video on that and talk Dynasty because obviously there's a lot of different factors of who you should be going after in that world. But again, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bells on because there's a lot of off-season content we'll be pushing out. We've got a whole plan coming up. Again, rookies, dynasty, we'll talk redraft closer to the training camp. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The season never truly ends. Again, hopefully, you guys have subscribed. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. You guys have been a fantastic community. You guys are awesome. So thank you guys so much. If you guys haven't already, check out our early rankings for quarterbacks. We'll be pushing out our wide receiver and tight end. And then again, we'll be talking a lot of dynasties. So again, make sure you guys are subscribed and staying tuned. All right. So make sure you check out those videos. I'll check you guys out next time.